Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today it's going to be more of a little chit chat, sit with me and chit chat type of video. As you can see, I don't have my makeup done to sit here and say how much I appreciate every one of you, my subscribers. Me and Sebastian appreciate it, huh baby? So one of the reasons why I decided to have a child was because of my niece, Haley. I instantly fell in love with her. She was so beautiful, and just the fact that, you know, that's basically kind of my blood. That just, I don't know. I always said yes, I wanted to have a child, and then me and my boyfriend at the time, we had said that we didn't want to have kids. Like, it wasn't in our plan. Of course, a couple months after my niece was born, and she was born in July, I wanted a kid of my own. I wanted to know how it felt to be a mother. So I ended up getting pregnant. I got pregnant that December. I didn't find out, it's crazy the way that I found out. I didn't find out about my son, or that, sorry, that I was pregnant until January 3rd. Which I will never forget that date. Super cute. I'm gonna post a picture of the pregnancy test as well. But yeah, at that moment, my life completely changed, and I was so happy. It was weird. It was, I couldn't believe it. I remember I took the test. I was in my mom's restroom. I took the test and I like screamed at my sister, and I was like, Emily, Emily. And I'm over here getting emotional, but anyway, yeah, so I called her and she's like, what's going on? And I told her, I'm like, I'm pregnant. And then I showed her the pregnancy test, and she's like, why are you crying? And I'm like, I don't know, I just got emotional. Not a lot of people know that. Years before, when me and my son's father first got together, we had a miscarriage. So after that, I just didn't want to have any more kids. I didn't want to try. I mean, we were never we never took any precaution. I was never on birth control. I didn't believe in birth control. I just didn't want to put my body through that. And I never got pregnant till like 5 years later. So I thought maybe something was up or something happened. I don't know, but it wasn't my time. So yeah, this time around when I got pregnant, I got really, really emotional. I was really happy, of course. I told his father, and then he was happy. And then, you know, my pregnancy was amazing. I had a little bit of morning sickness, but the only thing is that I would have to wake up and instantly eat. I had to eat right away, right when I woke up, or else I would get nauseous. And at the moment I was working at Chase. I was a teller. Shout out to all my Chase friends. I love you guys. But yeah, I was working there, and at the time I was part-time, but I was working full-time hours. So standing up for the same spot for 8 hours was draining. My feet would swell up and get super red. I did my maternity shoot, which I'm gonna post a picture as well. so beautiful. I decided to do it with my son's father. So both of us be in the maternity shoot. I did do some individual photos as well. And then right after that, I had my baby shower, which is so pretty. I did everything. I threw my own baby shower. Anyway, yeah, I did that. And then a month after my baby shower was August 8th. A month after I had my son. He was born September 8th, 2015. He was born at 9:13 p.m. So my pregnancy was amazing. It was beautiful. No heartburn, nothing, not a lot of gain. Like, I didn't gain a lot of weight. It was nice. It was beautiful. My labor. It was terrible. Terrible. Like, it was just, it traumatized me. I was in early labor. So I went on to early labor September 6th, which was Sunday night. I remember I went to Sonic's because I was craving like a slushie. I wanted something cold. So I went to Sonic's. I went by myself. My son's father was working. My parents were at a family event. So I went by myself, and then I got home and I didn't stay at Sonic's, obviously. I drove back home after I ordered my drink. And then I was sitting down watching TV, and I had all my dogs. I had Daisy, that was my first dog, our first small indoor dog. And then I had Holly, which everyone knows about Holly. She's my baby. And then I had another little Shih Tzu, but she ran away like 2 years ago on 4th of July. But anyway, I was with my dogs, and then I started feeling like a little bit of discomfort, but I thought it was just normal because I was towards the end of my pregnancy. I was already, my due date was September 12th. September 12th. So I was super close to my due date. I was like, okay, 6 more days. It's probably just because the baby's like getting ready to come and whatever. So I didn't think anything of it. I took a bath, went to bed, and then my son's father would come home at 6 in the morning. So he worked from 6 p.m. to 6 in the morning. So he got home, and then I woke up and I told him like, hey, I'm not feeling good. Like, now this is September 7th. By the way, that's my sister's birthday. So it's September 7th. It's Monday. It's Labor Day. And I'm telling him that I'm feeling like I have contractions. So I go on my phone. I had an app on my phone, and I start monitoring my contractions. So I'm getting contractions every 5 minutes, nothing crazy, but they were so strong. Like, I knew at that moment, like, it was early labor or something. Like, it wasn't just discomfort. Out to the hospital I went, and of course we went to labor and delivery, and she put me in the room where they check to see how much you dilated, or that room. So the nurse comes in, and then she's like, hi, how are you? When's your due date? And I tell her, she's like, okay, so let's go ahead and take a look. So she looks, and she's like, okay, so you're definitely effaced, I believe that's what it's called. Yeah, effaced. I was like 90% effaced. So that meaning, I'm gonna go ahead and put the description of what that is right here at the bottom part. So I wasn't dilated. So I already knew how it felt. Of course, it's just, there's discomfort, but that's it. This nurse must strip my membrane, which it's like procedure they do. She didn't tell me, and when she did it, I swear to you, it was the ugliest pain I've ever felt before. like it hurt so much, like I even like kind of cringed, and I remember like holding on to the rails of the bed, and I was like, what the fuck did she just do? Like, why does it hurt so much? And I even remember having like a tear coming down, and I was just like, okay, is that normal? This is Monday night. I'm in my room, I was watching TV, and I remember my headboard was obviously back here. I was closer to my pillow. I don't even know why I did that, but I would hold on to the rail or like my headboard every time I would get a contraction. I would just hold on tight and like just breathe, try to breathe through the contraction. I don't know why I didn't tell my mom I was in so much pain at that point. I think she had already gone to bed. And I remember my brother came into my room. He's like, hey, are you okay? Because I hadn't came out of my room, and when he came in, I was leaning forward. I was holding on to my son's crib, like the bed. I was holding on to it, and I was leaning forward, and I was like, dude, I'm having the worst contractions. And I did not sleep. I kept texting my son's father, like, I don't feel good. I don't feel good. Like, I think the baby is coming. Like, I think I'm in labor. I have contractions. I've been monitoring my contractions, and they're every minute, and they're about 30 to 40 seconds long. So finally I decided, I come out of my room, and then I look at my sister's boyfriend, and I tell him, dude, I can't take the pain. And he's like, dude, remember with Haley, like with my sister, she went to the hospital like 4 times, I believe, or 3 or 4 times. So he's like, yeah, he's like, you should go, but he's like, you should go, you never know, but you might be sent back home. So I was like, okay. So I finally got up, and I went to my mom's room, and I told her, Mom, I can't stand this pain anymore. I'm done. Like, I cannot handle this anymore. This is already like, I'm having like longer contractions. This is like 3 in the morning. She drives me to the hospital. The hospital is about not even 10 minutes from my house. So we're on our way to the hospital, and my ex, or my son's father at the time, he is texting me. He's like, hey, is everything okay? What's going on? Keep me updated. Get to the hotel, get to the hospital, and I go in through the ER because it's already after hours. So labor and delivery, the main entrance is closed. So I go through the ER, and I tell them, they like automatically, like they put my name down, and they get a wheelchair, and they're wheeling me up, and I just like look at my mom, and I gave her like the look like, I'm so done, like I can't stand this pain anymore. So they take me to the labor and delivery room. First they checked my was empty, like labor and delivery, there was no one in there. So they took me straight to a room. My nurse was so nice. I wish I remember her name, the first nurse, because I had so many. So she takes me in the room, she puts the monitor on, so we can hear the baby heart. And then they checked me, and I think I had gone up to like 2. I'm not even kidding, like it was 2. But I don't know why. I think the baby's heart rate was going down. So they ordered an ultrasound, and they did an ultrasound. At this point, don't know anything what's going on. Like, they're just doing an ultrasound, they're doing all that, and then I couldn't lay on my left side, because every time I would lay on the left side, the baby's heart rate would go down. So I had to like kind of lay towards my right. And so okay to check me in. This was around, I got there like at 4, so around almost 6 in the morning. They were like, okay, we're gonna keep you, you're gonna have this baby soon, even though I was at 2. So she was like, I just like, I don't know what was going on. So I was just like, okay, so I'm having this baby, cool. So I don't think I brought my bag or anything. I think I left everything, like my bag and the baby's bag at home. So I told my son's father to pick that up first. I don't remember, that's kind of like a blur. But anyway, they keep me in, and then she told me that she was going to give me some medicine to help with the pain. She couldn't give me the epidural. The only way they can give me the epidural was until I was at 4, dilated 4. So I was like, okay, well, I need something to kill this pain, or like remove this pain. So they gave me this medicine, which I swear to you, I was on cloud 9. Like, it was so crazy. I think my mom said that I was, at one point I was like, no, don't leave me. I'm barely breathing. Like, I can't breathe, because I was so relaxed. I mean, I could still feel the pain, but it relaxed me more than anything. And I think I finally fell asleep, and that's what I needed, because I was gonna have a baby. Like, I was gonna be hella exhausted. So my son's father gets there, we're waiting. They give me that medicine. I'm relaxing, sleeping, you know, taking a nap, whatever. Finally, they come check me, and I think I was at like a little bit over 4. And and they had given me Pitocin to induce labor. Because it was just going, I was having contractions and I wasn't dilating, so they had to give me Pitocin. So I'm there, and then finally, yeah, they gave me the epidural, and then an hour after that, my water finally broke. I was asleep when it happened, so, and then I'm numb, so you can't feel anything. But my aunt was in the room with me, and she said she heard it, and she said it sounded like a water balloon popped. This is already the evening. I've already like napped, because my body's so relaxed. I'm not feeling any more pain. So I finally fell asleep. And then I remember my whole family was there. My mom, my aunt, my cousins, my sister, my brother, I believe my dad, and my son's father was in the room. They were all in the room, because obviously I wasn't gonna go into labor soon, because I was like barely like 6 or something like that. And then I decided to do my makeup. So I did my eyebrows, I did a little bit of concealer, some mascara. I think I did eyeliner. Yeah, I did a wing liner. I think I did my whole face, except I didn't do bronzer, I didn't do eyeshadow, like I didn't have lashes, which I'm so pissed that I didn't put my lashes on. But so yeah, I remember my cousin coming in, and she's like, what, you're doing your makeup? And I'm like, yeah, like I'm not feeling any more pain. So she thought, like, she didn't see the beginning. She didn't see how I was like before I got the epidural, before I got the other medicine. Like, you guys, I am not even kidding. I was so sore. My arms, my back, my shoulders were so sore, because I would always lift. I would lift myself instead of relaxing. I was lifting myself and like cringing every time I would get a contraction. So traumatizing. But anyway, so I finally, it is already like 8 o'clock. It's like, no, it's like 7:30, and then they check me again, and they're like, oh wow, like you're like at 8. You're almost there, sweetie. Like, so I'm like, I look over and I look at my son's father, and I'm like, oh shoot, like it's getting more real. I wasn't scared. That's the crazy thing. Like, I was not scared of being a mom or going into labor. Like, a lot of people don't think about that. Like, when you go into labor, your body goes through so much. And there's a possibility, like a high risk, you know, like you are, I don't know. It's just crazy how the women's body is. Like, it creeps me out, honestly. But at that point, I was just like so excited to have him. Like, I wanted to hold him. Like, I mean, from the moment that I found out I was pregnant to the moment that in that bed, I was just like, wow, like I'm a mom. I'm gonna be a mom like any hour now, like any minute now. Like, it's crazy. And I look over at my son's dad. It's so funny. I don't know if y'all ever watched this video, but if he does, it's so funny. And he looked so nervous. I think he would walk in and out of the room so many times. Like this is our first child, like his first child, my first child. So this is crazy. Yeah, it was funny. But my mom ended up staying in the like 8:30, and they checked me again. They're like, all right, so you're good. We're just waiting for the doctor to get here. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I'm about to have this baby. So they ended up kicking everyone out of my room. So my mom and my son's father were the only ones that stayed. And it's like 8:30-ish, still waiting for the doctor. Nowhere to be found. It's like 8:50, like 8:45, 8:50, and I'm just like, I'm so ready. Like, I felt pressure. Like, I was just like, I need to push. Like, I'm so ready, guys. Like, and at this point, I have like 50, like about 10, 11 nurses in my room, and I'm just like, okay, what's going on? Because at that, like I said, earlier, going back to the beginning before they admitted me, remember when I said that they did an ultrasound? So apparently my son had pooped, like in the womb, like inside still. So they just had to have like nurses, like for the NICU nurses or whatever, and make sure that they had the whole team, just in case if something was wrong. So I feel like they didn't tell me this when I had my ultrasound because they didn't want to worry me. But I feel like if they would have told me, I wouldn't have been asking so many questions like, what in the world? Why is there so many people in my labor and delivery room? Like, what? And when they told us that, like, my mom's face just completely changed, and she was so like pale. Like, but at that moment, I was still not scared. Like, I was just like, no, my baby's fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with him. I know, like, yeah, he did that, but he's fine. Like, I just knew. And then my mom, I was just like, Mom, relax, dude, like, it's okay. And then she's like, no, the doctor's taking a long time, which he did, but I was in no rush. Like, I wasn't in pain. I mean, I started to feel like my legs, I started to feel them. So I was like, oh shoot, my epidural it's like wearing off. Like, no. And then once I started feeling that, I was like, no, this doctor needs to come. And I kept telling the nurse, like, I need to push. Like, and she's like, I can't tell you to push. Well, it's a whole, liability thing. So they're not the doctor. So finally the doctor gets there, and it's 9 p.m. And he comes in smiling. He's like, hi, are we ready to have this baby? I'm like, yes, bitch. Like, really? Like, I'm ready. So he tells me, he's like, okay, since you have an epidural, you're not going to feel when you're having a contraction. So we'll tell you once, the monitor shows that you're having a contraction, that's when you're going to push. And then he's like, you're going to push and hold it. And then, they do the whole 1, 2, 3, and then like you have to like push all the way to the end to 1. So I'm not even kidding, like he came, he like was already prepped, he told me what I was gonna do. He got there at 9, guys, 9 p.m. I had my son at 9:13. I pushed 3 times. The first time I pushed, and it was like a good push, I guess, because I started crowning. I know this is so gross, but well, TMI, not gross, but whatever. So that's how fast it was. Like, he was there, like my son was there, he was ready to come out, like he was gonna come out on his own. Okay, so it is now 9. I pushed 3 times. It was, oh my God, I will never forget. It was like, I felt it, even though I was on, like I had an epidural, I know I felt it. I felt like the release. I don't know how to explain it. Like, I felt relief because I was already feeling like I was already feeling the pressure. So, because like I said, my epidural was wearing off. So I felt something, like knew, like when he's like, okay, he's out, the head's out, like everything was so fast. He's like, you have to keep pushing, you have to push. And then instantly, like, it's so funny because we always like make fun of my son because he's a crybaby. From the moment he was born, he cried like right then and there, and I was like, he's here. Like, oh my God. So they took him right away. Like, they took him because of, you know, the situation. So they took him and they cleaned him they got him out, put him like on my like chest, and like asked my son's father if he wanted to cut the umbilical cord. He cut it, and then I saw him for like a quick 10 15 seconds, and then that's when they took him to the little cleaning area, and then they like sucked up like the fluids and like cleaned his eyes and made sure everything was fine. And then I turned around and I looked at my mom and I looked at him, and they're like, yes, he has 10 toes, 10 fingers, he's fine, he's beautiful, he's perfect, and there was nothing wrong with him, thank God. Take him off the wet. Hold on. So I was able to spend a little bit of time with him, like the bonding time with him, before they took him, because they have to take him to like bathe them because they're still like full of all that like the fluids from the placenta and all of that good stuff. Checking to see if I'm ready to go to the other room, see if I can walk. My left leg was still very heavy. Like, I could not feel my left leg at all, and it's completely normal. So when I stood up, I kind of like fell, and she's like, okay, no, you're not good. So they like wheeled me to my other room. Parents stayed for a little bit. I believe, actually, I think everyone ended up coming to our room super fast because, again, it was very late and it was like after visiting hours. But his sisters were there. My son's father's sisters were there. So they stayed and like saw the baby, and my sister saw the baby, and my brother, like everyone was there, you know. So, and then my aunt and my cousins had already left. Like, I think once they found out that I was okay and the baby was okay, I think they left. I don't remember, to be honest with you. So they're in our room, and then my mom finally leaves, and it's just me, my son's father, and the baby in the room. I couldn't go to sleep. Like, I just kept looking at him. I was like, wow, this is my baby. Like, Friday morning. Just a long time in the hospital. I was there for forever. But and it was because I had lost blood, and they had to check my like iron levels, like all my levels, make sure I was good. Yeah, and they finally let us go home. So, but yeah, guys, that was my labor, my pregnancy video, or my pregnancies, my experience. Definitely hard. The first couple months were definitely hard. I had to adjust. I mean, I was on maternity leave from Chase, and I was on leave he was born in September, and I left like the last week of August, and I didn't go back till the end of January. So I was out for a while. I was able to be with my son for the holidays and all of that. I still definitely regret leaving my son still so young. It sucked. It really did, because I feel like I lost so much time with my baby, and I mean, I don't know if I'll ever have any more kids, so like I won't be able to be there. Like, I wasn't there for his first step. I lost so much time, and it's because I needed to work, and that really sucks. But like I said, I nursed my son for a whole year. He never took a bottle. Luckily, I worked like 5 minutes away from my house, and my mom was able to bring the baby to me on my break, my lunch, and like both my breaks and my lunch. And I would nurse him. Like, I would do that, like, because I needed to feed my son. Like, I had to, you know, like, I couldn't quit my job. I had to feed my son, so I had to do what I had to do. Like, sometimes I would, when on my lunch, like, I would feed him and I would be eating as well. Like, it was crazy, guys, but great experience. I love my son to death, and I feel like that's why him and I have such a great bond, because like why he's so attached to me was because I nursed him, and I like was there. Even though I had to work, I was there. Like, we had an amazing bond. I mean, not that he doesn't have an amazing bond with his father, because he does, but it's just the mother instinct, it's crazy. And if I ever have the chance to do it again, I would love it. Like, just being able to feel like the baby's first kick, or like everything. It's just so beautiful. So yeah, that's my pregnancy story. I am gonna go ahead and like post videos of, or like pictures of like my maternity pictures, and also like my baby shower, and then I believe I have like his 3D photos. I would definitely do it again. But yeah, so that is my whole story about my labor. I hope you guys enjoy that. I know this is definitely not the same. It's not like my other videos, which is like makeup, and then I'm so like, this is my makeup for the rest of the day. Like, I'm about to like wash my face and then get ready for bed. But yeah, I want to do stuff like this as well, not just like makeup related, also like when it comes to like my son. So I hope you guys enjoyed that little story of mine. I hope it like helps someone that is pregnant or it has questions. I did a lot of research. I did a lot of reading, a lot of questions. Every time I would go to the doctors, I had a list of questions. That helps a lot as well. But yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching this, and I will see you guys in my next video, which will be a makeup video, I promise. And yes, thank you so much for that. Go ahead and like this video, and please subscribe to my channel. And yes, all right guys, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.